Thanks for attending. I'm the president of American Pacific. We've been in existence for about 2 years. We IPO'd in March of 2018. Our goal and mission is to acquire and amass projects in the western U.S. that are high grade, easy to permit, and in mining friendly jurisdictions. Here's our forward-looking statement that you're all expected to memorize within the next 2 seconds. I'll review, since we pretty much our flagship property was Tuscarora that we put into our coffers back in the beginning of the company. We acquired our Gooseberry shortly after that. Gooseberry is one that we believe has got a lot of potential to expand, and we'll review the model. Review the model shortly. We signed an LOI and are actually closing on the Madison mine, which is a high-grade sulfide copper skarn up in Montana. It's along the same belt as the Butte Copper mine, the Continental Pit and the Berkeley Pit. As I mentioned, this is a big one for us. We reviewed this project several years ago before another company got it, and we got the opportunity to put it back into our midst, and we're pretty happy with it. We have a JV partner, Rio Tinto, that has to spend $30 million over 11 years to earn 70%. So we have a good, strong backing there. They have a program that they drilled last year. We'll be releasing some of the data from that shortly, and their program is supposed to gear up about May, so we'll have some drill results to report then as well. Here's just to point out some of the grades that were drilled in the 2017 drill program. You can see they're pretty gaudy numbers. We have 82 grams gold, 51 grams, 41 grams, 68 grams. So that's a function of the Prass company drilling. They have rehabbed the mine, so we do have an in-place mining permit. Should we choose to get back in and do some mining and some bulk sampling. Rio Tinto, this is a pretty simple copper porphyry diagram here. We're very high level in this system, so we're up in the skarns and we're up in some high-grade gold and copper. Their philosophy is that since we're in proximity to such a large copper belt, that they drill deeper or drill in certain areas. There's a 2-mile zone within our property that they have sequentially been testing, and they're happy with what they're seeing. They're seeing the types of igneous rocks and also the types of carbonate system that they really need to make a big copper porphyry. The Gooseberry project we acquired via staking. It was open. It's located in western Nevada, near Reno, and about 10 miles away from the Comstock lode. So everyone knows about that, how big and prolific that belt is. We staked it. We didn't have a lot of data on it, and we've slowly amassed the data, and the more we amass, the more we like it. It's a high-grade copper silver, or gold silver, excuse me. And it's been untouched for 29 years, since 1991 was the last mining done there. The claims were just dropped, and we staked it up, just not knowing what we had. We've since found a lot of the data, and the data are showing us good high grades, good continuity. The mining company, Asamara, that mined it back in the 90s, went bankrupt and just essentially walked away from it. So it has infrastructure, lots of power, lots of water. It's right next to a major highway, so it's in a good place. Highest grade we got from the underground sampling was 113 grams of gold and 3,700 grams of silver. This is a schematic looking at the vein, and you can see the darker colors there are the mined out material. The rest of it is essentially unmined. So there was a lot of development down to the 1,400 foot level. It was never drilled beneath the 1,300 foot level. So you can see those drill spines coming through. We see a lot of potential both east and west, so right and left on that diagram. The shaft down to 1,400 is in the center. The Comstock lode was returning 20 ounces per ton back in 1930s before it flooded at 2,900 feet. So we think that we have got a real good chance of making this a deeper and a wider ore body. We obviously didn't have a whole lot of data when we got into this, so we've located it piecemeal by piecemeal. We've got a fair amount of the underground mining data, so a lot of the mapping, which has come in quite handy. You'll see here shortly. There's our land package in the yellow. There's the approximate trace of the vein. And in our searches at UNR and a couple other universities, we have put together a bunch of plan maps, and you can see those materialize here. They're quite accurate, quite effective. We registered to the surface there, so you can see the various levels that were mapped here. We put that all in and did a 3D model with it, so you can see the linear nature of this vein as it spins around here. The golder colors, the warmer colors, are the higher grades, better than 9 grams per ton gold equivalent. The cooler colors are lesser grade. So we're seeing what we think are feeding zones that are coming up, and certainly targets to drill at. Really pleased with this model and really kind of what it's telling us in the exploration potential in the area. Tuscarora was the project we brought in initially. It still is our flagship, but we kind of have 3 of them that are equal at the moment. This is a long section looking into the vein, some of the higher grades that you see. There are 10 vein sets that move into this property, and they're covered a little bit by gravel. So that's obscured. The old timers couldn't find these to mine them. That's the only reason they're still there. Some really good grades are found in this. We had spent about $1 million last year. Our JV partner did some really good geophysics. We came up with some targets of our own from that. They drilled 2 of the 8 targets that they defined. You can see that we're pleased with the grades. That pretty much sells it. These types of deposits in Nevada you can mine them for $550 to $600 an ounce, so they're kind of bulletproof when it comes to the fluctuations of gold price. Here you can see the various veins moving into the area. The South Navajo vein was the one that had the majority of the gold. This is a CSAMT study, which is kind of an expensive thing that Oceana did last year, our partner at the time, and they only tested 2 of these 8 targets. So we're looking for, the future of this. We're now putting the data into some sort of 3D space where we can interpret it, and then we'll move this project forward. Next step, we're closing on the Madison mine literally as we speak. Here the lawyers are penning in the final details, but it's a done deal. We have a pretty tight share structure. It's 67 million shares out. Warrants 12 million out. So we trade on the CSE, and we're looking forward to a pretty good year. Thank you.